Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back for another episode of the Corona Spotlight 2020. I am your hostess, Gail Nicholson. Thank you for joining us once again. I am so happy to be here. Today, I get the honor to interview a lady that has swooped into my Facebook feed at least a year ago and shown me a pathway to a whole new world in the name of LinkedIn. Now, this lady bills herself as the queen of LinkedIn, and I believe I bow down to her dominance in this realm because, man, some of the challenges that she puts out will have you if you sign up for them, they will have you expand your reach in this other realm other than Facebook in such a way like it'll blow your mind. So without any further ado, let me introduce to you Miss Nena Abdul-Wakeel. She is a social media success expert at MsNenaB.com, and she is honestly the queen of LinkedIn. Thank you so much for being here with us today, Ms. Nina. How are you?
I am doing great, Gail. I always chuckle when people say the queen of LinkedIn, LinkedIn queen. There's so much to know about it. I'm humbled to be one of the queens. I'm in the court, so I don't claim to be the, but I am in the court.
That's beautiful. I love it. I love it. Awesome. So when I happened across you months and months ago, um, I honestly was not sure that I wanted to join your group because um, I use LinkedIn when I'm out of a job, looking for a job, you know? And the idea for me personally, now this is not across the board, this is my own little small mindedness at times, right? Those people are way too professional, way too high end for me. I am sloppy. You might hear an F bomb come out of my mouth every once in a while. Um, you know, that's a different world than where I can show up. And you've changed that for me. You really have. So, that's pretty amazing to have opened that up for me. And I know from watching in your group all of the other people's feedback that you are changing things for a lot of people. So thank you for what you're doing. Explain to me and to our listeners, if you will, a little bit about what LinkedIn coaching is and how did you get into it?
Well, I'm a techie at my heart. Yes, I'm a tech nerd. Hi, my name is Nina. I'm a tech nerd, right? So uh, I love particularly software and what things people have to interact with. And what I have found is, sometimes the tech people can make it seem so complicated, so overwhelming, and somewhat intimidating. And so over the course of my career, I've always been on a mission to demystify software, to make it usable and friendly and help people understand it. And so when I started getting involved in these social media streets, so to speak, LinkedIn seemed to be like, why doesn't anybody go down that street kind of thing, right? It's like, oh no, we don't want to deal with that. So once I've been on LinkedIn since 2004, and it started in 2003. So I consider myself an earlier adopter.
Mhm.
And so I just kind of put together my love of helping people and teaching people technology with LinkedIn. And that's how I started getting into LinkedIn coaching, really helping people navigate it and understand how to use it for their careers, for their businesses, whatever they're trying to do.
Excellent, excellent, wonderful. Now, why do you think you've gravitated so well to that with LinkedIn, right? Why not Facebook? Why not Instagram? You know?
Yeah, I mean, I think It's because kind of what you were saying, like people think of LinkedIn from the professional zone. And like I'm a 30-year plus corporate professional, like, leader, director level, almost VP level to, starting out as individual contributors. So I understand the mindset of the content and the processes on LinkedIn.
Mhm.
And so, but I know that there are a lot of people who could be leveraging it and promoting themselves that are hesitant. And I just didn't like to see that. I said, no, you can show how great you are. You don't have to wait for somebody else to toot your horn. You get this whole platform that you can stand and create your own stage, bring your own spotlight, and show how great you are. And LinkedIn is a great platform to do that on.
Now, let me follow that up then with this question, and that is, do you think that people's hesitancy to toot their own horn, I mean, we especially women grow up being, don't you're not supposed to be too proud of yourself. That
Yeah.
I can recall a few times where my godmother put me in check a couple of times, about God doesn't like that.
Yeah, and I think some of it is generational, and some of it is cultural, and some of it is very gender oriented. And
Mhm.
so when you think of, I'm like consider myself kind of um a baby boomer. I'm right on that cusp of the baby X kind of, a
Yeah, me
baby,
too.
that right on that cusp. And so we really grew up in that zone of, you put your nose to the grindstone, you work hard and you get recognized and you get promoted. You just work as hard as you can until you get recognized. Well, then that's no longer the way it works today. And so you've got to be willing to stand up and say, "Hey, I've done these things. I'm capable of these things." And there's a difference between being confident and promoting yourself and arrogance,
Hmm.
right? You're not doing it to be arrogant or even to belittle anyone else. And so LinkedIn as a platform is a great structured and trusted site. Great way to do it, recognized as an approach to doing it. So why not maximize it?
Absolutely, absolutely. I see your point. Now, when I think of LinkedIn, all right, we've already covered this a little bit. There's this personification of, okay, LinkedIn is the double-breasted suit of social media, right?
Yeah.
Stuffy, cigars, dark wood. You got to be on your P's and Q's there, right? No, you
Yeah.
can't. You can't flip off with sarcastic comments and stuff like that, like you can obviously on Facebook all over the joint. Um, so is that really true though? I mean, is it just that that's the best place where we can interact with our resumes when we're out of work, and they're always you can count on they're going to check your LinkedIn profile to see how professional you are if you're up for a corporate job, right?
Hmm.
But have we like made a boogeyman out of that, so to
Yeah.
speak? Yeah.
I'll admit that LinkedIn's history is very much that, but it is history, and it is so not that today.
How is it now?
And now it is business, but business is different than hardcore professional perception.
Mm-hmm.
It is about business. So if you are an entrepreneur or a small business owner, medium tier or large tier, you want to have a presence on LinkedIn because that's where people make those connections and see what you're about as a business. Even as a consumer, I'm checking you out I might want to buy from you from a business perspective. And so you get to present yourself authentically. Now, yeah, you're not going to be necessarily dropping F bombs left and right, you know,
Hmm.
uh, but
Unless you're a
you don't
rapper,
necessarily,
it depends
yeah,
on your field of
exactly.
interest.
Right. But, you do get to present yourself legitimately as a business. Like you're serious, if you're a service-based business, then show what services and show the value of your services. If you have product, highlight your products. Now, most of the time, LinkedIn is not like PayPal or Etsy. It's not where you go and let me click and buy the product. It's let me invite you to check me out over here on my website. Let me invite you to schedule a call so we can talk about how I can help you in your business. But I don't have to, put on my, you know, ancient IBM blue,
Yep.
in order to have the conversation.
100%, right? That's awesome. Nice. Yeah, as you were talking about that, it came to mind that you're absolutely right. I mean, you and I are of the generation where we grew up with, like the um, the big Wall Street buildings and the like the old money and the mahogany and the smoking rooms and that kind of stuff was corporate big business, right?
Yes.
But
Hmm.
our kids have grown up where big business is Google, ping pong tables, and scooters to get around the campus. And big
Yes.
business is a totally different game now, isn't it?
Yes, exactly. And even, even the big businesses are finding that they've had to change some of their marketing strategies on how they're presenting themselves on LinkedIn. It is becoming more human oriented. And what I mean by that, you'll start to notice if I pay attention to it, because obviously that's the geek in me. But but companies are promoting or highlighting their employees more.
Mm.
The bigger companies, they're highlighting their community service, they're highlighting their those things that impact people, and this is on LinkedIn so that they can humanize their brands more readily.
Agree.
So,
Yeah, understood. I've seen a big
so
shift of between the mentality of here we make this product, buy it, to
exactly.
here's how we're socially conscious over here, and here's one of our amazing contributors to what makes our products over here, so that it's not just a matter of okay, I bought your product. What else are you doing for the planet?
Exactly. So some of that is also kind of shifting the content on LinkedIn, which also means that I could see a post from a big company highlighting their associate, and right after that, I could see a post from an entrepreneur talking about speaking on a summit.
Mm-hmm.
And they're in the same playing field.
Yeah, yeah, that's an amazing equalizer. Now, is there something different people should be doing on LinkedIn during the coronavirus quarantine pandemic, whatever label you want to put on it,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
It's a
all
whole
all
new
of the
world
above.
here. What should we be doing differently
Yes.
on LinkedIn?
Well, you know, there's been a lot of conversation, articles, news reports, all kinds of reports about really the impact to small businesses during this pandemic, right? And to larger businesses as well, but more specifically, small businesses. Well, one, a lot of small businesses have neglected having some kind of online presence. And so they really need to take the time now, you know, the investment to get online presence is really nominal.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't take a lot. Now you probably want to engage someone who knows what they're doing to give you guidance, but the investment is worth the return because this is the time to be in front of people. More and more people are spending time online.
Mm-hmm.
You've got to get your name in front of people and what you offer. Now, they may not be in a position right now to buy from you, but that's going to shift. We're not going to be at home forever.
Mm-hmm.
Now, how we interact and how we engage is going to shift some, but ultimately, the needs of people are going to return and you've got to position yourself to be the answer to their needs
Mm-hmm.
when they are ready to buy. So this is a great time on LinkedIn to be positioning yourself, to be in front of people, to engage with people, to build connections, to connect with potential partners. Maybe you need to do a shift in your business, and this is where you start having those conversations.
Awesome, awesome. Now, where do you stand on the make money off the pandemic, give away your life instead because people will be mad at you if you try to make money off the pandemic question?
So, it's unfortunate that there are people who are um, exploiting people during this time. Now, I don't have any pains against people who are seeing the legitimate opportunity to provide resources and support at a reasonable cost to people during this time. So, people who I've seen, people who have pivoted and now, they're on their online store. You can buy masks, you can buy hand sanitizers, those kind of things.
Mm-hmm.
I think that if you can figure out a way to support your business and serve people during this time, you should do that. Now, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think it's the nature of the world. You want to continue the economy in some level, right? We still have to eat. We still have to pay bills. Maybe some of your bills are higher because everybody's home, right?
Yeah.
Right. And there's nothing wrong with being innovative and an entrepreneurial approach. I'm totally against exploiting people, but I think being creative now, as a service provider, like what I do, I try to be aware of the sensitivity of the situation. A lot of my community, people have lost jobs and things like that. I know the value of positioning on LinkedIn. So if I find myself in a position where I can offer some of my services to my community at a reduced price, then that's my choice to do that. And um and I see that as an investment
Mm-hmm.
in people's lives. Now that's my style,
Mm-hmm.
and I know a lot of other people, that I'm connected with. We really believe in the law of giving.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I do.
Awesome, awesome. Yeah, I agree with you that to a certain extent, it really depends on what kind of work that you're in, what kind of work that you're doing. I absolutely agree with you, and I happen to be one of those ones that goes, everybody's got to eat.
Mhm.
Everybody's got to eat. Period. You know. So if you can provide something in such a way that helps the energy exchange, there's nothing wrong with that. Where that borderline comes in is when you're exploiting, when you're price gouging, when you're selling toilet paper for $20 for a 4 pack. That's slightly unethical.
Yeah.
You think? No, so I agree with you. And I think that you make a good point that it depends on what it is that you're doing. In your particular service line of work, providing to the community for a reduced rate, garners you love later on, you know, and what you give out will be returned, right? So,
Right.
and where other people, may be doing things a little bit differently. Some people, a lot of people that I've been interviewing are out there looking for what can I do that's going to bring me some money, but that is not going to, you know, ruin my reputation or poison the well of my following that I've developed over however many years.
Yeah.
And that can be a little bit sharp and a little bit tricky right now, is finding what is that sweet spot between making your business survive and stabbing yourself in the back.
Yeah.
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 Now, I want to talk to you a little bit about your Facebook group, the LinkedIn Hotspot, because in my 11 years on Facebook, I have never seen anything like it. I absolutely adore it. I think that you're doing amazing things. And God, it's exciting. So tell me a little bit about how that started. What's the story behind all of this, and what's some of the high points that you've experienced along the way?
Well, I love my group. I honestly truly love my group. I started the group actually before it was the LinkedIn hotspot. It was called Empowerment Hotspot, and I renamed it because one of my dear clear friends said, "Why when you teach about LinkedIn don't you just call it LinkedIn hotspot?" But I mean, the core of it was empowering people with technology, around technology and stuff. And so I am so happy to report that we just crossed over the 1,000 member mark.
Congratulations, that's
It just
news.
blows my mind. It blows my mind. It just really blows my mind. I mean, I've been a part of Facebook groups that have, thousands of members, but to be the host of one, it's a whole different experience. And I'm really excited because it's where I really get to share my love of helping people learn technology. And so I do challenges in my group, very popular. People are like, I missed the challenge. I'm going to do the work afterwards. That
Yeah.
people like stay when they commit, they like are in the challenge for the challenge. They don't, they just are always involved in, I'm looking to do some other new things in my group. It is a place where entrepreneurs or career professionals or whoever who's saying to themselves, I know I need to be on LinkedIn. I'm not sure what I'm supposed to do. And I really need somebody to make it real simple for me.
Yeah,
That's
that is
what my group
exactly
is
what you
about.
that's exactly what you deliver. Absolutely. Without a doubt.
So, I mean, that's has always been one of my goals whenever I'm teaching something, is to just make it simple. There's enough complications in the world. And I love when I see members of my community have those aha moments, and I just see them soar. And some of them have just gone on to gain contracts on LinkedIn, and have gotten, speaking engagements, have gotten part of anthologies connected to some high profile influencers in their space. And so I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it.
That's amazing. Awesome. Yay. Well, you keep doing what you're doing, because it is obviously making a huge difference for a lot of people. And I just really, I'm inspired by it. I congratulate you on what you've built. And I am, in joy with all of the other people that are members of this group that are getting so much out of it. So thank you for that.
Thank you. Yeah. And we have a lot of fun. in the group. More recently, with all my gadgets and gadgets that I have at my disposal when I'm going live, we've discovered some new ways to just have great engagement with the community when I'm going live. And uh,
Excellent.
I'm excited about some of the new features. Now, some people may wonder, like, I'm teaching about LinkedIn. Why do I have a Facebook group, right? Like, I thought she said she was the LinkedIn lady. Why is she talking about a Facebook
But
group?
that's the
Right?
brilliance of it to me. I mean, you're plucking people that are over here on Facebook, right? And going, "Hey, there's a whole new world over here. Let me show you how to get in. Let me show you how to be
Exactly.
successful there." That's brilliant.
Yes, exactly. I tell people every day because my people, my target audience, the people who I serve are on Facebook. They keep looking over there at LinkedIn land trying to figure out how to get there. And I'm like, let me show you the way.
Yes. Yes, beautiful. Absolutely. So let me ask you this. What kind of results do the people who actually let you show them the way get out of doing that and following your advice and your challenges? What are some of the results you've seen show up for people?
So I would say I don't talk about it very often, but I think one of the biggest results that I see is the tremendous increase in confidence that people get about navigating LinkedIn. And they start to get new connections. And then they're like, oh my God, I just ended up having a conversation with the director of X, Y, and Z, and we're going to talk about a collaboration. So they've gotten contracts for multiple training engagements. So some of my communities are trainers. Some have been on platforms to speak. I myself have been pulled for as a IT leader, a women in IT panel. And then there's this group that hosts these dinners, these very nice dinners in the Washington, D.C. area with leaders in the IT arena. And we meet, it's about every other month or so.
Mm-hmm.
And we talk about topics as far as, forward thinking in the IT arena and people management, change management, project management, all of that kind of stuff. And I was selected based on my activity on LinkedIn and my profile, and they were looking for a certain demographic. And so if I hadn't taken the time
Mm-hmm.
to promote myself and what I was capable of, then they wouldn't have called me
Right.
and asked me, we think you would be a great addition to this leadership roundtable. So those are the kind of things that the people working with me see, I myself see just by doing the strategies that I teach on LinkedIn.
That's phenomenal. So imagine for yourself, audience, what you're doing and what you could experience as a result of, reaching out on LinkedIn. Absolutely. Now, can you give our audience just one little LinkedIn tip that they could put into action today?
One.
Just one.
Okay, let me think. So I tell people that you need to make sure that you're showing up current on LinkedIn all the time. And the two things that people look at is your profile picture and your cover banner. Your image is it's like a 3-second test. And so, if you had to update anything on LinkedIn or do anything on LinkedIn today, I would say go check your profile picture and your cover banner and make sure that it is current and clearly represent how great you are.
Awesome. That is really good and executable advice. Thank you for that. I think I might actually have to do that myself today. That's good. That's good. Now, awesome. I want to talk to you just a little bit before we go. I mean, we're very close on time. But tell me a little bit about what you're offering as a freebie to our audience today. We
Okay.
have it as the LinkedIn Brand Authority Resource Bundle. So, what's in this
Yes.
bundle?
So the brand authority, because I really see being on LinkedIn and showing up strong is what you should be doing. You're the brand. You are the authority of your brand. And so the brand authority has a checklist for your profile, making sure your profile is showing strong. It has some images. So if you are wondering, do I have a good cover banner? It actually has some free grab and go use right now. Um, Cover banners and some other tips and checklists to help you with your LinkedIn setup.
Awesome. Awesome. So, all of you go get that right now because it's going to be useful. It's going to be useful with the tip that she gave us today to go in there
Yes.
and update make your presence current. And that's the starting place to move on from. Beautiful. All right. Well, do you have any final thoughts for our audience before we send them on their way today?
Thank you so much for this opportunity to talk about the thing that I love to do, which is LinkedIn and coaching people on LinkedIn. So, thank you, Gail, for the invite. Thank you for this wonderful conversation. And everyone is invited to my Facebook group, the LinkedIn Hotspot. So, just come on over, let me know that you saw me here, and I'll approve you to join.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And once again, thank you for what you do and what you're contributing in the online space to people doing better business and having happier lives, whether we're under a lockdown or not.
Yeah.
You're amazing, and keep doing what you're
Thank
doing, Queen.
you. Thank you.
All right, everyone, have a wonderful, wonderful Wednesday, and we will see you again soon. When you open yourself up to actual energy work, makes that recovery progress so much faster. That recovery is possible. You do not have to live as a victim until your last days. You have unbelievable strength, and I know that because you're still here. Do you want to create something completely unrecognizable with your life? I can show you how.